welcome to the Buffalo Bills pregame show for Week 16 against Atlanta Falcons. Our top stars for the week. Bills are out of the playoffs. Of course, we know that. Falcons, are they out?
They're out.
They're out.
Okay, what do you think about that?
Well, it'll be interesting just to watch to see if the Bills and the Falcons start trying out players for next year. Because this game is pretty much meaningless, so it's like, okay, we're going out, see who we got for next year, and see how they work out.
So third stringers?
Not third stringers, but you know, pretty close. At least not the whole entire game, but I mean, you might as well see what you're working with for next year. There's no sense of anybody getting hurt. You know, we already got half the team on IR anyway, so you might as well see what you got.
So now that we brought the second, third, or whatever stringers up, another top story is Brian Brohm. Our other two quarterbacks are injured. Brian Brohm and Hamdan, he's the backup. Which one do we start? It's rumored that Brohm is going to start, the future maybe. So what do you think?
Well, I think Brohm is going to start, but as you mentioned before, third stringers. The Bills have been on like fifth stringers all season.
Yeah.
So what I would say is Brohm is probably going to get the start. We got to see how he does at this point. See if he's worth keeping for next year and potentially being the future quarterback of the franchise. If Fitzpatrick or Edwards is healthy, I'd like to see what Fuel has up his sleeve, possibly getting them in, just to try and close out the season on a good note.
All right. Our next thing is the game itself. The Falcons lead the series against the Bills 5-4. They've won the last two times. Okay, so let's talk about the offense. Justin, what will Brian Brohm do against Lofton?
Well, I'd be worried about Abraham and players like that as well, but I think that Brohm, we really have to see it. It's a guessing game at this point. He's an unproven commodity. He was a very good quarterback at Louisville. If he would have came out after his junior year, he may have been the #1 overall pick in the draft. His stock slipped during his senior year, went to Green Bay. From there, he was basically put his third string for Green Bay this year. They decided not to keep him on the active roster. They felt that there were better needs suited in the roster itself, so they put him on the practice squad. He got beat out by a 7th-round draft pick in his own draft. So I think that...
Well, we were talking about this earlier, that there's a lot of quarterbacks from Green Bay that have been Pro Bowlers.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe he'll turn out to be that, I don't know.
Well, they did give up on Kurt Warner, and we all know how that story turned out.
Correct.
Went from a box boy to Super Bowl MVP and NFL MVP. So over the past 20 years, they've had Mikowski, Favre, Brooks, Brunell, but Brown may be another one in that.
Looks like they know their quarterbacks.
Yeah, they know their quarterbacks. Unfortunately, our franchise doesn't at this point. Hopefully they found the gem, though.
Okay, talk about the defense. Ryan and Gonzalez and Turner is hurt. What do we think about this?
It'll be interesting to see what our defense does, because Jairus Byrd was just put on IR today, so you know we don't have anybody who's getting interceptions anymore. With pretty much our whole entire starting defense has been either injured or on IR this whole entire season. It'll be interesting to see what Matt Ryan does. He had a great season last year. Maybe it was the whole high of the whole Michael Vick thing that made him so good that he played well. Now he's just falling off. Hopefully it's not like a sophomore jinx or something. And I mean, Tony Gonzalez is one of the best tight ends, so he has weapons. The thing is, can he get the ball to him? And if Michael Turner's hurt, then Jairus Norwood will slide right in. He's not a bad running back at all. So they have good backups. They have good players. The thing is, can they all work together to get it done?
Actually, I got one little thing to add. Just recent news as of today. Word is out that Aaron Schobel might be considered retirement as well. So who knows? Maybe he goes on a tear in these games, in the last two.
All right, our next thing is this kid over here is not just a kid we got off the street. He's actually my cousin, Danny Riley. We brought him in. Maybe we'll bring him in future. And we just wanted to get his perspective. He's 11 years old. The last time the Bills made the playoffs was 1999, I think. and so he was one the last time they made it. He's never seen the Bills, obviously, in a playoff game. He was one. So, Danny, what is your perspective on never being? I mean, the Bills haven't ever been good when you've been alive.
Well, sorry.
Well, think about this for a second. How does it feel to never have seen them
Well,
in the
I've always
playoffs?
loved the Bills, and like if I were to move somewhere, I'd still like them. I don't know. Well, I really don't have. I like the Sabres. I like the Bills. I like the Falcons. Well, not the Bisons.
The Bisons.
Yeah.
All right. So you're loyal to the team. Why are you loyal to the team?
Well, because I live in Buffalo.
You've grown up here. It's your roots.
Yeah, I like the Bulls, like college team.
All right. Well, I gotta ask, how does it feel to know that they've not made the playoffs yet? Does it break your heart a bit?
Yeah.
You eventually want to see it though, right?
Yeah.
You want to see how the Ralph looks when the Bills are in the playoffs and kicking some butt, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I really don't want the Bills to move to Toronto. I don't know why I do that. It would just like ruin everything.
All right. Moving on.
All right. Our next topic is Brohm versus Hamdan. We talked about this earlier. The both quarterbacks, I think Brohm knows the offense better. Hamdan, I'm sorry, knows the offense better. Brohm is the new and maybe up and coming quarterback. So what do we think?
Well, Dan, what do you think first off?
Well,
Of those two, which one would
first,
you?
I didn't really like that they cut Hamdan.
Because he knows the system and all that?
Yeah, and then they just get him back, and, well, I think Brohm he'll do good, but Hamdan, he's never actually played a game, I don't think.
He's played a few, but not a whole lot over the 5-year career he has. I believe it's 5 or 6 years now. My perspective, you have Brian Brohm. He's an unproven commodity. He's supposedly very talented. Hopefully he's able to do that. Where Hamdan's been in the system, he knows the plays in and out. Personally, at this point, there's nothing left to lose. I'd rather see what the unproven commodity can do.
All right, and now it's time for our key to the game. My key to the game is will Jabron or
Whichever quarterback.
whichever quarterback plays, will they be able to play properly? And also the opposing team they don't know which one to prepare for, so that might be a key factor. What's yours?
My key to the game, of course, is the defense. It's been so crazy and so decimated. Can they get it together at least to stop their top 3 players?
Okay, what's yours, Justin?
Well, I could also say the offensive line's been just as decimated with probably their 5th or 6th string guard at this point. Can they block for the quarterback as they weren't able to do so this past Sunday?
Or Dan, do you have one?
Yeah, well, special teams, and defense, but special teams because last week they dropped two punts and almost.
It cost them the game with the offside, yeah.
The offside and.
Which is something the Bills are going to do.
McKelvin and the Parrish.
Oh yeah. Well, we got to get the returns going and all that. All right.
All right, now it's time for the picks of the game. I'll give those picks first. Nakia, what's yours?
My pick is 24-17 Bills.
And what's yours, Justin?
I'm gonna say probably the opposite there. 24-17 Falcons.
And Dan, what's yours?
I'm going to say 19-16 Bills.
And I'm going to say that the Bills will lose 27-14. All right, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Colts. Remind you that if they win this week, then they will be undefeated, 15-0 going into that game. So that'll be exciting.